travel season for me is officially back. So today I want to talk about an all new work travel bag. This is from Maverick Co. This is their Double-Zip Briefcase. Let's get right into it. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Desmond. I make content about tech and travel gear, and I say it, I guess, every time, but it truly is one of my favorite things to review. It's travel briefcases. I do a lot of travel for work or even for my own side business, so I always have a briefcase or some type of work bag with me. And what I've got with me here today is from a company called Maverick Co. Maybe you've heard of them before, but I see their bags on Instagram and on YouTube all the time. Pretty iconic designs, but this is the Manhattan Double-Zip Briefcase. In today's video, we are going to do a full overview of the bag, build quality, design materials, features, functionality, and also what fits in this relatively large travel briefcase. So let's get started. First of all, I've got the briefcase here. This is in a pretty beautifully colored dark blue. I personally like this color. I have another briefcase in this same color. I think it adds a little bit of personality beyond just black. I've got plenty of black briefcases as well, but this is a blue Saffiano leather construction. Saffiano leather, if you're not familiar, has a really nice texture to it, so it's obviously not a smooth leather, as you can see here. Give you a closer look. Hopefully the light gives you a sense of the kind of texture on this leather. The nice thing about Saffiano leather, if you've ever seen it before, Prada tends to use that leather a lot, is it's very durable. So the difference between a Saffiano leather and like a smooth leather, not just this texture, is it holds up really well to kind of scratches and scuffs because this is already texturized. You're not going to see scratches, dings, and other damage as easily as you would with, say, some of my briefcases that are purely smooth vegetable tanned leather. So almost the entire briefcase is made out of leather, which adds a bit to the weight, but overall I think it's really, really well constructed. You can also tell by the quality of the stitching here. Everything is near perfect or perfect. I'm not seeing any issues. Maybe I haven't looked closely enough, but this is very well constructed. Saffiano leather on the entire front panel. These reinforcing pieces here that hold the handles, which are also all leather, and then turning it around to the back, same thing. Everything is constructed out of this leather, a luggage pass-through. I've said it in a lot of videos before, I've got some beautiful designer or luxury briefcases. They never have luggage pass-throughs. I don't know if it's just an aesthetics thing, but this is highly functional. Like, why have a work travel bag if it doesn't have a luggage pass-through? That's just my personal preferences. So this is beautifully made. It feels really rigid and also sturdy, so it's not going to fall off your trolley handle. And then the only other thing you're going to notice that isn't leather is the metal hardware. So this is a polished silver hardware. We've got it right here where you clip the shoulder strap. The zip ties are also leather. I actually really prefer this. I think I've also mentioned it in videos before. I don't like metal on metal zippers. There's a lot of clinging and clanging. I just don't like the jingle of zippers on my nicer bags. So having them lined in a rubber, or in this case a leather, keeps them silent. It just doesn't sound like you're jingling your way through an airport. Moving along, the zippers themselves are nice. They're smooth. They're high quality YKK zippers. And of course this is called the double zip, so one main compartment here. I'll show you what's inside that. And then a much larger, fully folding compartment here. And now that you've got a good look of the inside, we have a very bright orange lining. This is I guess I'd say a distinct design feature of Maverick Co. You can see right here, we've got a bit of that orange peeking out. That is what they tend to do with their briefcases, so that's kind of how you can tell. I like this. And of course, this little piece here is a pocket, so that's nice. Now on the inside though, that bright orange lining is everywhere. I think it's nice. It might be a little bit too flashy or colorful for some of you. I usually like a high contrast interior, so whether it's a white or a beige or an orange like you see on maybe bags from Alpaca, it contrasts against all of the black gear and tech that I keep, so it makes it easier to find things. Since we've got it open, let's go ahead and just see what fits, right? This main area is really your tech peripherals. Laptop, this is a 14-inch MacBook Pro. I've got a little notebook in this pouch here, and then of course you've got this mesh pocket where you can throw in smaller things you don't want to fall out. Earpods, power banks, cables, power bricks, all of that can just go into this zippable mesh pocket. And again, the nice thing is this folds entirely open, so when you get to your desk, when you get to your destination, you can fold this open, pull all your things out, close it up. I will flip this around. The other thing you're going to see here is on this side, another pocket. That zips entirely open, and in here is a relatively flat pocket, so probably throw an iPad in there. That would be great. It'll definitely hold up to a 12-inch iPad. Something smaller like an iPad mini for sure. If you have documents or papers, I don't know, receipts that you need for travel expenses, you can toss all that stuff in here. Anything that's relatively flat, this is going to be a great pocket for. Other thing you'll see is a leather embossed Maverick Co logo. It's a nice touch on the inside. So you've got really great luxury design, but you've got some modern functionality to it. I'll give you an example. This is another briefcase that I love. This is from Gucci. Beautiful, very simple design. But if you look at the inside, it's just two pockets. It's a laptop pocket and a zipper pocket. Other than that, this thing is completely empty. This, on the other hand, does have a lot of organization built into it that still keeps the exterior looking very minimal. So you don't have pockets and different zips and all things protruding. So, and before I get to the other main pocket, let's just take a look at the bottom. This is something that's also always welcome with briefcases like this. We have metal feet, 4 little metal feet, and on the bottom of these metal feet, they've got a bit of a grating. So it's textured, it won't slip around on, say, enamel or tiled floors. It's great for keeping this high quality leather off the ground. Another thing that I'm going to call out, as you can see, the construction of this bag is very rigid, whether it's full or empty. The bottom here is really well reinforced. I don't know if that tells you how reinforced it is, but it is a very rigid construction down here. That'll protect a lot of the gear you have in there if you want to throw in something, of course, like your laptop. But if you've got a small camera, you don't have to worry about this thing breaking because you've got the feet and then you've got the rigid kind of construction down here already. And now let's talk about this main pocket. First thing you're going to notice is the zip really only comes down about 1/4 or 1/3 of the way. This section doesn't open up very wide. Let me go ahead and show you. It's the entire length of the bag though, and it is relatively deep. You've got that orange lining on the inside, and I'm gonna do my best to open this wide for you, but a few things you're gonna see inside. First, you've got another pocket here. So you could put your iPad in this pocket. There are 2 pen loops. I don't know if you can see, 2 pen loops right there, and then a couple of organizing pockets as well. Now for me, I am a bag-in-bag packer, so I keep a travel pouch. This has, I don't know, ibuprofen, it's got face wipes, gum, chapstick, just like all the tiny little bits and bobs, cables, all types of things that I need for a flight or a trip or going into the office. I keep it all in one pouch, and that pouch goes into my bag. The other thing you're gonna find in here is another tinier pouch. In this pouch, I think this is from Alpaca, it's just a charging brick and it's a couple of USB-C to USB-C and USB-C to USB lightning cables that I keep in here. So this is my entire charging kind of setup in this little pouch. And finally, kind of just thrown about in there is another power brick. This is from Nomad. This thing is great. I think it's got 65 watts of charging, 2 USB-C ports, and an Apple Watch charger on top. I just throw that in here as well. With that said, there's still a lot of room in this compartment. So you can throw a pair of AirPod Maxes. Those are relatively flat. They will fit. So if you're a traveler, noise canceling headphones will definitely fit in here, the larger ones. You can throw a bunch of additional elements in here. You definitely can't fit a camera, which is totally fine. I think for a bag like this, I probably wouldn't carry a camera in it because I'm going straight to an office. This is a significantly more formal looking briefcase than it is a hybrid travel briefcase, in my opinion. And generally speaking, I think the design and the build quality is great. So you can see here, pretty standard design. I mean, it's a briefcase. It looks like a traditional briefcase shape and style. My biggest thing is the materials. I am a huge fan of Saffiano leather. This is also the only briefcase that I own with this type of leather. Everything else is some type of hybrid, ultra smooth leather. I've got this briefcase here. This is a Gucci briefcase. It also uses some type of textured calfskin leather, which is fantastic. But this is a very durable, high quality leather that I think looks great, and it'll age very differently than, say, a kind of smooth vegetable tanned leather, which will pick up a lot of patina. This Saffiano leather and the kind of texture is probably going to counteract a lot of that patina and aging. So it'll look new for a really long time. The other thing that I'll say about this particular bag is, like I mentioned, empty, it is very structured. So you can see here, placing it down is very simple. So if you're someone who travels a lot, if you're in and out of airports, hotels, being able to put this down and not have it topple over is fantastic. But the rigidity comes with a bit of a price. It is heavy. I think it's like 1.6 kilograms empty, which again is not the heaviest bag I own, but because of how rigid and how thick and durable the leather is, it does add weight to the carry experience. All in all, I think it holds up really well. It looks great. I've used it on some work trips. I've used it in the office. Because of this Saffiano leather, you're not going to pick up those scratches or scuffs very often. I don't know if you can see this in the light, but there's like the tiniest little scratch here, but it's really, really hard to pick up with the texture of this bag. So depending on the lighting, yeah, you're gonna have to look for scratches and scuffs, but the design and just the makeup of this particular leather really holds up well to, I'd say, maybe a user that isn't as careful with their bags, and you don't have to be, but this holds up really well to regular daily use. And before I forget, of course, this comes with a shoulder strap. Give you a closer look here. The shoulder strap is also that same Saffiano leather, both on the front and the back. You've got a little bit of branding here, Maverick Co. There's no padding on the inside, so it's just leather all the way through. You've got a nylon strap with that polished silver hardware, and the strap clips right into the polished silver hardware on the side of the bag. Maybe some other design elements to call out as I kind of make my way through it is we've got more branding. Again, even with all this branding, it's so minimal. This right here is really nice because it's a polished silver Maverick Co. emblem right on the side, and that's mostly it. I mean, this is a pretty standard bag. I think it's just beautifully designed. I've definitely gotten to a point where function is, of course, very important, but the more minimal the design, the better I think it looks, and the more timeless I think the bag is. So when we're talking about overall design aesthetic, this is a very timeless bag. You've got a little bit of that orange, gives it some character, but other than that, this is going to look great in a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, because the design of what we aesthetically define as a good-looking briefcase, it's here. Functionality-wise, though, I think there's enough organization inside that makes this still a very functional bag. Like I mentioned, it still looks very premium. It looks very timeless. It's something that's going to be versatile and look great in almost any setting, but you do have a lot of that functionality built inside, that organization built inside. So let's talk price. The Manhattan Double-Zip Leather Briefcase is $470 when it's not on sale. Occasionally you'll get a sale, you can get it for under $400. I think that's not bad. A Saffiano leather briefcase, say from Prada, which is not a good comparison, but let's just say the same material from a luxury high-end brand with a very similar silhouette and design aesthetic, that is a $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 briefcase. Again, not a good comparison example, but it at least gives you a scale as to where these things sit. For about $469, $500 after tax or so, I think this is still a really, really nice briefcase, because this would be an example of something you kind of buy once and you're able to use for as long as you want to. It's not a design that's going to go out of style. It's not a material that is going to wear out or break down with minimal use. It's definitely something that is built for the test of time. And then from a traveler perspective, just having a luggage pass-through really, really changes the travel experience. I know I feel like I'm overstating that, but no, having a designated slot for your trolley arm actually makes a huge difference. You don't have to worry about your briefcase falling off your suitcase. You don't have to carry it when you're wheeling it through an airport. It really makes a huge difference. So all the little design decisions for the Maverick Co kind of Manhattan double zip, I think are going to be great for the end user experience in the long term. With that said, although I am a huge fan of the blue and orange color combo, Maverick Co also does this in black and red, which again, for a lot of you, that is a great color scheme. I think if you're looking for a black briefcase with a hint of red, a beautiful option. Not only do they make different color options, they also have a thinner version. So if the double zip is just not what you need, then you can go with a single zip, which kind of removes this front pocket, and you've got an even more classic, slimmer, minimal silhouette with all the same functionality. So that is my quick overview of the Maverick Co Manhattan Double Zip Briefcase. Of course, I didn't stuff this thing full of all the gear that I would carry, but hopefully what I showed you gives you an idea of what you can fit in here. That stuff is usually what I would bring to an office. It's almost everything I'd need for a flight, minus like snacks and bigger headphones. But generally speaking, I think this thing is going to hit the mark for a lot of people looking for a versatile work briefcase that you can bring on flights, you can bring to the office, that you can take out to a bar or a restaurant after work. It looks great. It's a pretty timeless design. And again, I will say for the price point, it's a pretty good deal. You're getting a lot of quality and design here for what I would consider a pretty value-based price. All right, if you like this video, hit that like button, subscribe for more videos just like this. I will catch y'all in the next one.